In the previous video, we talked about customizing our application theme in Compose by extending material theme. In this video, we will be talking about replacing some of the systems of design in material theme. For example, we can replace the existing colors system or typography or shapes. As an example, for the application that we have from the previous video, I'm going to replace some of the existing systems. For example, I can replace the typography as well as the colors and keep the shapes as they are. So let's get started doing it. I go to the theme directory in my packages, and here I have my theme file, and it defines the existing definitions that result in the current look and feel of my application. Here I create a new design system, design system to replace typography. For example, I create a new file, a new Kotlin file, and I name it my substitute type.kt. It's not a class, of course. First, I create a class for it, but the file is not the class. Immutable data class, my substitute type, and I'm gonna make a very simple typography. It's going to have one header and one normal typography. So let's define it as val header, its text style as the type. I import text style from Compose packages, and I add also body for body text. Its type is text style again. I also add a parameter for default font family, and its type is font family. I import font family from UI text.font package. Then I create a local composition for it, a local composition type. I name it val local my substitute type, and I create an instance of it by using static composition local of. I create one type, one instance of my substitute type as the default font family. I use font family.default, and as header I use text style.default. As body I use text style.default. And that's it for my substitute type. I create now another file for the colors. I name it, it's a Kotlin file, my substitute color. I create an immutable class to hold the values that I desire for it. I create a data class my substitute color. And again, I'm going to make it very simple. I'm going to use a few colors like background color and content color. So val background color with the type of color, and val, let's also import the color from Compose UI graphics package, and content color, its type is color. Let's create an instance of composition local for it. I name it val local my substitute color. Make sure that you start your local composition variables with the word local. It's a convention for these types of variables. I create an instance with static composition local of, a new instance with my substitute color. For background color, I use color.unspecified because these are the initial values and later I will specify them. And for content color, I use color.unspecified. That's it for these replacement types or substitute types. Now I go to my theme file and I then go to my custom theming theme object and add two fields, add two members to return the latest values of my substitute types. So val, I name it my substitute type. I specify its type. I receive it using a getter, which is also a composable, and I access it with local my substitute type.current, and I create another member for my substitute color. Its type is my substitute color, composable, get local my substitute color dot current. And inside the body of the theme composable, which is custom theming theme, I create two variables to specify my values for these two types that I want to pass along to my theme. So first I create a variable, my substitute color, to create a new instance of it. And for background color, I specify one value, and for content color similarly. For the value of background color, I check for is dark, which is passed to us as a parameter. It's dark theme. It's a Boolean parameter. So if dark theme, I use, for example, color dot light gray as background color, and otherwise I use color dot white as background color. And for content color, Again, I check for dark theme. If it is dark theme, I use color dot white. Otherwise, I use color dot black as the content color. In fact, for dark theme, I'm gonna use yellow as content color. Just very simple colors. Let's now create an instance of my substitute type. My substitute type. It has default font family. Let's specify a font family for it. Importing font from uitext.font package and font family. I need to specify a font from my resources. I have two fonts. I can specify one, like I'm going to use Gucci Hand. So R is not resolved here apparently, so I use the full package name, example dot custom theming, the package path of my application, and then R, and then font dot Gucci Hand. So this is for my default font family. Then the next parameter, header, I use a text style with font size. For font size, I'm gonna use something like 40 SP, and for the body, I'm gonna use a smaller font size, text style 20 SP for the font size. As you see, it has many parameters, the text style, but I specify only the most significant one, which is font size. And for font family, I'm gonna use the default font family, and to make it easier to use, I'm gonna specify font family here. Font family font, just the same font, use it here. And I'm gonna copy the same font family for the body as well, font family, paste it here. There we go. Now I'm gonna pass these new defined instances to my theme with local my substitute color and type. Local my substitute type provides my substitute type, and local my substitute color provides my substitute color. Okay, now that we are going to substitute the existing colors and typography with our own color and typography, I'm gonna skip passing colors and typography from our previous values. So I remove them, or we can simply comment them out colors and typography. And now let's go to our main activity and refresh our preview, see what we have and whether it has any effect so far or not. There we go. As you can see, although we have replaced the colors and typography, we are still seeing not much difference in terms of our look and feel of the application, and that's because we are still using material components, and material components have their reasonable defaults. So in order to customize your components after you have replaced some of your design types, you need to wrap your composables. You need to wrap the material components in your custom composables and then directly apply your desired style from your replacement types. So what I do now, I go to main activity and I start, for example, with the button. I go and find the button. As you can see, I have already replaced the button with my button, which is my composable to wrap material component of button, but it doesn't yet follow the exact styling that I intend for it. So I go to the definition of my button, and here I define its colors using the new color type that I defined in this video. So I remove the color styling that I had added in the previous video, and I use button defaults dot button colors to define the colors using my new color type, and I use the name of my theme object, custom theming theme dot my substitute color dot background color. This is for background color, and for content color I'm gonna use custom theming theme dot my substitute color dot content color. So now I get my color types and my colors for the button from my substitute types in my theme. So refresh the preview. As you can see, the button is not yet following the new colors that I specified for it. Let's check the other button. Okay. No, in fact it is working. For the button, it is using the white color as the background color in the light theme and black as content color, and in the dark theme it is using yellow on light gray. It's not very beautiful, but it works. Let's change the background a little bit to something with more contrast, like dark gray. So I go to my substitute, in fact my theme.kt file, and when specifying the color that I use, my substitute color, let's use dark gray here. and while it's being refreshed, as you can see, we have only customized the color. But although our theme provides a substitute typography, the typography does not follow our substitute type. Why is that? The reason is that when you are wrapping material components in your custom composables, you cannot specify the text style for your composables content with parameters. You have to use provider functions, and in this example here for our My Button, we are not yet doing it. In order to do it, we need to find the content part, and it's this parameter, and then we need to wrap our content inside a lambda like this, and then we need to wrap the content again with provider function like provide text style, which is specifically used to provide text style and typography. So provide text style, and we specify the text style that we are going to use for that element's content, and that is again extracted from our theme object, which is custom theming theme dot my substitute type, and then we can use either header or body. Header is too big for the button, so I use body. And then because we put the content inside curly braces or the body of this function, we need to invoke it with parentheses. Okay, let's refresh the preview. There we go. As you can see, our button is now styled with the typography that we have defined as the substitute typography for our customized theme. One thing that you are also noticing is that because we have replaced our color system with the customized color system, now our dark theme doesn't work as before. It doesn't show dark surfaces. It is using the same color that we have in the light theme, and that's because we have removed the colors that we were previously passing to our material theme, and we take that responsibility upon our own shoulder to customize and to style the color of the surfaces and any other component, in fact. So for these surfaces, in order to give them the color that we want, we can do a similar thing to what we did for the button. We can define a wrapping composable to hold the material component in it. For example, for this one here, which is a surface or acting as a card, we can put it in another composable, and then inside that composable we can style directly using the customized color system. So let's find this surface over here in the body of our material scaffold. It's this surface, and it starts here, it goes as far as here, I'm gonna create another composable with the name of my card. It's gonna have similar parameters like modifier. Let's in fact use the same parameters from surface. And because it has also body, I copy the content of its body. Control C and paste it in the body of my card. Then, because this is still undefined, I define a new composable, create composable my card. I adjust its parameters, default value of empty modifier, and for elevation I import DP. For shape I import corner based shape or simply shape. In fact, I'm gonna use just shape, import shape, and then its content, the last parameter, it's gonna be a composable, and I'm gonna make it a box scope. So box scope like this. Let's customize its background. I'm gonna add a box here, and inside the box, in fact, as I said, because we are going to wrap the material component with our customized composable, I'm gonna use surface here, surface, and for modifier I pass modifier. For color I need to pass the color here. It has content color also. I need to get these values from my theme, and also it has shape. I'm gonna use the shape that I'm receiving. What else do we need to specify? Also elevation that we receive from our composable. Okay, for our color, let's now specify the color from our theme. So custom theming theme dot my substitute color dot content color, sorry, background color, and for content color, custom theming theme dot my substitute color dot content color. And then we have the content, and because we want to allow the content to get styled using our custom typography, I use provide text style with the value of custom theming theme dot my substitute type dot, this time let's use body again. Initially I was going to use the header, but it's going to be too big. And then let's invoke the content, and because this is inside the box scope, it wants us to provide it in a box scope, so I'm gonna put it inside the box. Like this. Alright, now let's go back to where we defined and used our my card composable, and before it we had surface. We don't need it anymore, we have replaced it with my card, so I comment it out. Now I refresh my preview. As you can see, we customized the background and the content color as well as typography of this special component. So far, as you can see, we have only customized the theme of two components, this button and this component, this surface. So it's not as simple as it seems when you opt into replacing the default color, typography, or shape system used by Material Theme with your own system. It is certainly possible, but you'll probably have a lot of work to do, and you have a lot of customizations and creating a lot of custom components and composables for your application that need to be done. So that's it basically for how you can replace some design systems in Material Theme, like typography, shape, or color, with your custom designed types, as we did in this video. I hope that you liked this video.